you were in a Mr. Beast challenge, do you think you would win? Well, I know I would, and it's pretty easy. But how do you win? Well, first you have to get over these hurdles.
Oh, I cannot.
If you're not able to climb, you should have some other priorities. Or just do some pull-ups. I mean, if you can't do it, it's just natural selection, don't worry about it. But none of these come close to how painful it would be to be eliminated like this. Laziness will get you out quicker than my fall off YouTube. But how do you fix it? Just make better videos, I guess. No, not that. To beat laziness, you should concentrate super hard and stay stiff like a tree. Or you could sneak in some caffeine, probably the same amount of caffeine an average gym rat has before his workout. The next option is to make a deal with someone, preferably Mr. Beast, because he's more likely to give you something in order for you to leave the challenge. Because if you're offered something like 10 grand and you don't know how long you can last, you might as well go, because it's better to leave with something than to leave with nothing. Or you can make a deal with the other person. If it's you and them left, if you split it 50-50, you both win. But if they don't agree, you're kinda screwed. And I know it doesn't sound bad how friends got out, but trust me, it gets worse. But first, could you guys subscribe? It really helps me out, and the more subscribers I get, the more effort I'll put in. Thanks. Now this is the worst thing that can happen to you in a challenge. First, I want you to see how humiliated this man is. And look how happy these two are. Well, this is what happens when you fall for one of Mr. Beast's hurdles. But what is this hurdle? What will happen is Mr. Beast or one of his teammates will throw a briefcase out of bounds or away from the object you have to touch, making you leave the circle or taking your hand off the object to get this briefcase. Now, usually the briefcase is normally empty, but the reason it's so good is because of the pressure. What do I mean by this? Well, I mean FOMO, fear of missing out. When you see people running as fast as they can to this briefcase, that puts demand and value on this briefcase, leading you to leave, and you may think it's $10,000, a trip to France, maybe a trip to the Maldives, and you're there first and all you get is nothing but a joke, you clown. And the only way to figure out if this is a real prize or not is if Mr. Beast gives it to you himself and shows you the money. Quite literally. Also, this is a huge gamble. But the people who are out first usually get a gift of $10,000, a car, or something different. I'm not saying you should be out first, but if you have no hope in winning, maybe you should try it. Now, this one is the most painful one out of them all. Staying in one spot, or the fatigue of staying in one spot, can definitely break your mind because you're there for 3 days and you're kind of just sitting there. You haven't seen anything different. You don't know what time it is. You've been living off oatmeal and you've probably got someone in your ear telling you that you're going to lose. And this can have you questioning everything. It can make you want to leave right away. But how do you beat this challenge? Well, a while ago I heard Jim Carrey speaking about how much he wanted to quit playing the Grinch of all characters. He was saying that it would take 8 hours to do a whole face full of makeup each and every single day. So they had a guy from the CIA train him to endure torture techniques. And this would go from hitting himself in the knee to smoking. I don't think Mr. Beast would condone smoking or hitting yourself in the leg. So I guess, like I said before, think about what you do with that $1 million. Now this one is entirely down to you, because if you get found, you're gonna lose everything. Hiding isn't really that difficult. If you're not obviously hiding, like if you're not out of place, if everything around you is symmetrical, you shouldn't be found. And if you had a high enough place where they can't reach, I don't think you'd be found either. But if they put the SWAT team on you with heat sensors and drones, I'm sorry man, that is not your fault. But to beat this, you could hide somewhere completely hidden or away from the security guards, like a vent or in a big box. The next one would be completely your fault if you did this. Don't be cocky. Don't annoy Mr. Beast, because if you annoy him, he doesn't care who wins as long as someone wins and it's a good video. And if he gets you out, that's content. So don't be cocky. You have nothing to gain from being cocky. Number one, Mr. Beast will want you out. And number two, someone will probably make a tweet about you. But some things are not down to skill. Some things are just directly related to chance. Like the glass bridge part of the video. I would recommend staying quietly at the back of the room, not doing anything, just kind of letting everyone do their own thing. And if someone calls you out, just gaslight them and say you've already done it. I know it sounds bad, but $1 million is $1 million. But now you should be able to win $1 million. See ya.